Welcome to Discover Ramona, where we explore the people, places, and businesses that make Ramona one of the best places to live. And today I'm with Jan Ryan, my co-host. Hi, Jan.
Hi,
for
Valerie.
being here.
Good to be here.
Yeah, so how's things going? I know that you have a ton of listings in Ramona, but you seem that there's a trend going on with realtors up there that are selling property. Tell us what you've been experiencing.
I'm glad you asked because I want to give a shout out to the realtors in Ramona. I found them to be so knowledgeable because up in Ramona we need to know about wells, we need to know about septics. A lot of times there's encroachment, there's land uses, county regulations. So flood zones, yeah, all kinds of issues that we deal in Ramona with that a lot of times if you're selling tract housing you don't down there. So I have found over the years the agents in Ramona have a wealth of knowledge, and I love working with the local agents as well.
That's wonderful. It's good to hear that some professionals are really still up there selling. It's just nice to share that there's more than just you as a professional up there, but there's a lot more agents out there that are doing the right things, representing people well.
Yeah, they're great. They're vested in the community. A lot of them are coaches. They work for the Chamber of Commerce. They work for the Ramona Senior Center. They donate their time. So we're all vested in the community up there. We donate every year to the 4th of July fireworks, to the Ramona Community Foundation. So when you work with a Ramona agent, if you don't work with me, I highly recommend working with an agent in Ramona when you do sell your home. So
yeah, it's really important to know your local area. It's way more valuable than people realize. And another thing we wanted to touch on today, I think, was one of your side hobbies is skydiving.
Yeah, that's another thing. It is my passion. A lot of people know that, and it's been a life lesson in confronting fear and enjoying life. So, and it's safer than the drive down there. My daughter actually got me into the sport, and she told me when she leaves the drop zone, the sun's brighter and the sky's bluer. So I have found that to be so true. So it is probably the best way to get rid of stress, anxiety, fear. You come away and you feel so happy. I like to go to Starbucks after and sit there, and I look around and I say, who else had this much fun today? And if any of you have been thinking about doing it, hit me up. If you want to do a tandem, I love to share the stoke.
Wait, can you skydive with someone?
I can't, but I can hook them up with someone who's excellent that I highly recommend.
And you'll go with them in the plane and make them feel comfortable.
I would love to do that.
I will not be joining you, but we do want to encourage people if they're interested. You've got that little itch, right? That you're one of the one of the safest things you can do as a sport is, you said it's safer than driving down there.
It is safer than the drive down there. And again, I love to share the stoke, so just hit me up.
Well, that's so cool and interesting, Jan. And you always bring in amazing guests for us to meet and learn about Ramona. So who did you bring in today?
I brought in Tim Connelly. I think most people in Ramona do know him. He started the Facebook group Love My Ramona. I think it's one of the best pages out there.
And his business is photography and more.
It's more. I'll let him tell you about it. I'm pretty excited about it.
I'm excited to meet him. Let's meet him. Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to be here.
Thanks for coming in. So Jan tells us you run a wonderful Facebook page focused on photography, and then you also have other businesses as well. So tell us a little bit about what it is that you do.
I do all kinds of stuff. So I do anything from writing poetry to taking photos to growing plants to promoting the town of Ramona that I love.
Tell us about that Facebook page.
The Love My Ramona page has been up for about 4 years now. It is probably the most utilized community page I've ever come across. We have over 30,000 interactions a month with the page. We have over 1,500 entries per month on the page. And it's a little bit different than the other community pages. I ask that there's only things that make you smile on there. So I marshal it quite seriously, and I don't allow anybody to put up their grumblings. And I found that there's probably only 5 people that ruin virtually every community group that's out there. So I don't have those 5, and they don't come to my party, and we have a better party because of it. So it's people sharing pictures of their horses, of their kids on their first day of school, of their plant that bloomed in the front yard that looks particularly nice today. And it is the sugar, it is the icing of Ramona, and it's meant to be the icing of Ramona.
What gave you the idea to start, or the motivation to start this page?
One of those 5 people that are always ruining other groups, and I was on a community forum in Ramona, and there was some inappropriate activity, and I had contacted the administrator and said, this is not edifying for the town at all, and I don't understand the purpose, and they told me that I should have my own group. So
Right.
I had my own group within 20 minutes.
Nice.
And within a week, we had over 2,000 people as part of the group. Today, we're 7,400 as part of the group in a town that only has 9,500 homes. It has very, very good coverage.
Well, that just shows you people's desire for positivity in this world. And so I'm glad that you're sort of spearheading that in Ramona, because it's definitely so much to celebrate in Ramona, right?
Absolutely. We pay a price living where we live. It takes us time to get home. We encounter traffic to get there. We spend the money on gas. We deal with real winds. We have battles with real fires. And we willingly do that because we love the town where we are. We have room. We can go outside and scream when we want to. We can find a trail to go out on our horse if we choose. There is a cost to living not in the downtown, but there's incredible benefits to not living in downtown. So.
Go ahead, Jan.
I was going to say, what's amazed me since you started that group is some of the photographers that you've attracted and that are out there in Ramona. You've got Roy Toff from National Geographic,
Yeah.
Joey Cortez. I mean, and you, of course, have some amazing photos of
And
your
John
dogs in the
Hancock,
community.
and for the
John
entertainment.
Hancock.
Yeah, we've been very, very fortunate. I created a place where a lot of quality people can share their work, and I like my work. I love my photography, and I love my town, so it's easy for me to do. And then I have people like Joey Cortez, who has an amazing eye for wildlife, and Roy Toft, who I'm writing the intro to his wildlife book. And Roy Toft goes around the world photographing incredible things, but at that being said, some of the neater things that he photographs are in Ramona with camera traps that he has, because he has incredible skills and equipment to be able to catch the pumas that we don't normally see, or a family of skunks behaving naturally at night. And so we're very, very fortunate to have the wildlife and have somebody like him to capture it. The group has brought all these people together, and we can all talk about what we're shooting.
It sounds like your group really represents the artistic side of Ramona too.
Yeah.
That it's not just politics and kind of like the uglier side of life, but it's really, like we said, celebrating the uniqueness of Ramona, the wildlife that's so interesting to capture. You know, it's really rare to. You said it was a puma?
Yeah, mountain lion, puma, yes.
Yeah.
Or Joey Cortez got a wonderful video of a bald eagle day before yesterday, and
Unbelievable.
and it's not like he's using a camera from a mile away. He had to be close enough to be able to really see this bald eagle, and you can watch the feathers blow and
Oh, wow.
as it looks around. And we've got a pair of bald eagles, we've got a pair of golden eagles up there, and we've got some real special things that we try to take care of and share.
Interesting.
And I love to post too, so it's not just the renowned photographers, but there's amazing just everyday photographers
Jan
that
says
post.
that. Jan posts some of the nicer photos that we have because she walks up Mount Woodson, which is probably one of our harder hikes, regularly. She was there today as well. And she goes at the crack of dawn, so you're getting the sunrise over Ramona from the top of the tallest mountain around that she gets, and she has many wonderful captures. So it's not just the professional photographers. There's a lot of, if you have a passion for the area, if you love your kid, you're going to get the best picture of your kid. If you love your town, you're going to get some good pictures of your town. And that's what we've attracted.
Well, tell us about your photography.
I like shooting people. So I do shoot some nature stuff, but it's not really my forte. I like candidates. I like people. So I just had the rodeo over the weekend. It's one of my favorite things to shoot. I don't shoot the events. I come to shoot the people, and that I try to shoot the kids and the mothers and the dads interacting, and the nervousness that you get before an event happens. And I shoot eyes, I shoot emotion, and I spend a lot of time with my photos. So I tell people that any photo that I'll show somebody a picture and they'll go, oh, that's great. Well, oh, that's great. I spent 5 minutes on that. It was a great photo when I took it. It's an amazing photo after I worked on it. So, but I love my photography, and I spend a lot of time even reviewing my old work because I enjoy capturing emotion. I enjoy stopping time.
Wonderful. And then Jan tells us you have some other endeavors that you work on.
Yes, I am a gardener as well. I'm a farmer by trade, and I've done that for more than 30 years. I'm very good at growing vegetables, especially in our area, which is a challenging area. So I have grown over 200 different varieties of specialty vegetables, from 20 varieties of melons to 50 varieties of tomatoes, every kind of beet and carrot and turnip and radish that you can ever think of. I've earned my living my entire life as a produce salesman person. I understand produce very well. And I understand how to grow it. So I enjoy getting people to understand the challenges of our area and getting them past that point of saying, I don't know how to garden, or I'm not a good gardener. And to me, I hear that I'm not a good gardener. To me, that's like, and they say, oh, my everything always dies. And I was telling them, well, did you have a dog as a kid? Yeah. Still got it? Nope. Okay. So you don't say you're a bad dog person, but that dog had a life and it lived it. And your plant had a life and it lived it. And if you were watching all the way along, the next time you get a dog or the next time you get a plant, you'll do a little bit better job. But it's still going to have a finite life, and understanding the cycles of what's going on will make you operate inside of that better, and you'll have more success. So it's just a matter of doing it more. And I like to get people to grow their first garden because it's a spiritual thing. You are more in touch with everything around you after you grow a plant.
Yeah. And you supplied, I remember you really surprised me. I didn't realize that you supplied like Wolfgang Puck.
Yeah, I've supplied Wolfgang Puck for years at Spagos. I've worked with Martin Wosel at Millefleurs for many years. Bernard Gies, who used to be La Jolla Beach and Tennis, or Surf and Sand, that group for many years. I've worked with some of the best chefs in the world. That's what I enjoy doing, is working with really high-end food. I work with the culinary team at Verona Casino very closely, and work with people who are willing to change a menu according to season. That's what I enjoy, is somebody who doesn't want to open the menu for the whole year, but somebody who understands that there are different windows that we can take advantage of and have better food that way.
There are quite a few farm-to-table restaurants or pop-ups in Ramona that I've heard about.
Yes, and Marinade is one of my favorites. Marinade in Maine does a great job, and they try to use as much local stuff as they can. And even our local farmers market on Saturday. If you go to a farmers market, where are you going to get a breakfast croissant sandwich with a local duck egg? You know, you're just not going to find it. And that's what they have, because that's what was good and that's what was right.
In the same ways that somewhat the tradesman skills have been kind of lost in this new generation, I feel like the same when it comes to gardening, sewing, those kind of things that they're life survival type of skills that we should have, but we've kind of lost over the years. So you enjoy teaching people how to garden and showing them that it's still possible.
Absolutely. That's
any age.
Any age. And if I was to give the biggest caution, my biggest caution to somebody who is starting their first garden is don't plant more than you can work. And that's what often happens, is people go, oh, I've got this beautiful area. It's 30 feet by 20 feet, we're not doing anything with it. Let's put a garden in and we'll plant all those plants. Well, you don't need all those plants, and you won't care for all those plants. And you will curse those plants when you're out there at 100 degrees weeding those plants, or realizing that you planted things too close together because you wanted to have more plants in that area. So coaching people, if there's one thing I could tell everybody to do, is be careful how much you plant. It's, of course, you want to plant in season. Learn your season, plant in season. And I will have a class in October 7th. I'll have a small class in Ramona explaining what to grow in our fall and winter season, because really we have 2 seasons. It's fall, winter, and summer. So we're in summer right now. We don't plant for fall and winter until about October 15th, so do it just before then. And you're not going to grow a good tomato if you plant in October. Doesn't matter who you are. And even if it does come out, even if you can get it out, it didn't have the sun to produce the sugars it has. And the same thing with a head of lettuce. I can grow a head of lettuce in July, but it won't taste like it will in February. It'll have more prominent flavors you probably won't care for in July. And it'll be a lot more challenging to produce. So you start with the plants that want to grow in the time of year you're in, and you plant as many of them as you're willing to manage.
And Tim, for living in Ramona, where do you recommend going to get some good produce?
We have some great farm stands, and I'll be the first to blow the whistle of Connelly Farms, because it's my brother.
There we go.
Connelly Farms on Telford Lane. They're open on Saturdays. They have an farm stand, but you have plenty of others. Little Patch of Heaven does a great job with lots of items that they're coming in with. For the average shopper, and that's going right to the farm. Go right to the farm, buy it right from the farm whenever you can. It's good for you to make that extra drive and step onto a farm and buy that product. But if you don't have the time, I really like Ramona Family Naturals. I think Robert Bradley does a great job with his produce. He understands seasons. He understands why things should be organic, and they should. So that would be and the farmers market, of course. Our farmers market's growing week by week. So our Saturday farmers market's another great place to go.
That's good to know.
I find you an incredibly gifted individual. Like, you have really, it seems like you've served your special gifts and your purpose here. Like, you didn't let anything go to waste. You've used your mind, you used your creativity, you used your knowledge for good. And that's what I feel like we lose track of with people, you know, and just to meet somebody locally that still has that, about themselves. I find that really interesting.
It's very kind of you.
Back to basics, back to nature, back to basics.
Yeah, exactly. And just using your brain for good, and it's a gift. It really is.
I like to tell the story of Ramona. So, and I told you how the Love My Ramona started. Well, one of the first things that I put on the Love My Ramona page was an article I wrote called A Cut Above about Wayne the Barber. Wayne the Barber is the barber at City Barber who started working on Main Street with a large glass window that looks right onto the public, so we all get to see him when we drive by. He started there in 1965. He's there today, still standing at the same chair that says 1965 on it. It still has an ashtray on the side of it, because that's when it started. And he's standing there every day. I mean, he was a young man in 1965, but it's not 1965. And if there's no one getting their hair cut from 5 to 5:30, he does not close the door 1 minute before 5:30. He's an honest man who works every minute of every day, and he's got a story and a joke and an admiration for everybody who comes in. And that kind of work ethic and this kind of stories that you can hear in an old-time barber shop like that. And he was the first thing I wrote about. And I drove by, I saw him, I said, I'm going to go write your story, Wayne. And I came, I said, Wayne, I've had my hair cut there for years, but I want to write about you. And now I go in there, I'm in Wayne's place once a week, although I don't get my hair cut that often. But just to feel Ramona, because you can feel Ramona when you're there. The pictures of the barber chair and Wayne are in front of you when you're talking to him in 1965, and you look at the counter in front of you and nothing has changed. Every jar is in the exact same place.
Amazing.
The clock on top is still at still straight up. The hands have never changed. There's still a picture of the Duke on either side of it, and it's you feel like you feel like Mayberry, and that's kind of what we're about. Is we want that old feel. The song I wrote with Ashley Norton is called 50 Miles and 50 Years Away, because that's what we feel like. Is we are 50 miles from all of the chaos, but we're 50 years back. You know, minus the smallpox and polio, we have all of the good parts of the old time society.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I loved meeting you. I mean, we just met somebody, Jan, thanks for bringing him, because we just met somebody that I've learned is a writer, a photographer, a page moderator, a Ramona history preservationist, right? A vegetable curator, like all these creative things. I can't wait to see what else you do.
I will add to that poet and unicorn tracker.
There we go. I miss the unicorn tracker. We'll get that story next time.
Check out the page or the group.
Wonderful, Tim. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Thanks, Jan.
Thanks, Jan.
Sally.
Thank you for watching Discover Ramona, where we explore the people, places, and businesses that make Ramona one of the best places to live. We'll see you next time.